An announcement for tomorrow. The second lecture in the recently started tradition of St. Stephen's College Public Lecture Series will take place tomorrow at 2 p.m. in the College Hall. And strangely, the speaker or the lecturer tomorrow is the one who makes the announcement. I would like you to understand the idea and the vision underlying this program. It's an expression of the unique spirit of the college. While all educational institutions today remain mere recipients of various forms of resources and assets in the form of bright students, assets in the form of grant in aid, assets in the form of public goodwill, etc. Your college wants also to flow back into the society. The logic of life is a two-way flow. One-way traffic violates the principle of life. If you think of your blood circulation, circulation is possible only because there is a two-way flow. Blood flows out of the heart and back into the heart. And the moment this two-way flow turns into a one-way flow, death results. Now, in the life of an institution, this principle may not find an immediate and dramatic expression, because the time scale on which an individual lives and functions is much, much smaller than the time scale on which an institution exists. But the principles that apply to individual life also apply to institutional life. Just as you can die of malnutrition if your body is not nourished through continuous intake of balanced diet, not continuous, periodic or regular. An institution will die if it does not have a continual intellectual, cultural nourishment. And that's a great contribution that all of you are making without even knowing it. You are sustaining the life of this college. My colleagues are sustaining the life of this college. In return, the college is contributing something into your nurture and your empowerment. So this two-way traffic, this two-way flow is the essential principle. Now, just as there is a two-way flow between you and the institution, there must be a similar flow between the institution and the circumambient society. An institution is placed in the midst of a society. And therefore, no institution that respects itself would want to remain insensitive to the world around and neglect opportunities to make life-enhancing, culture-enhancing contributions to the society around. So with this idea, we started the St. Stephen's Public Lecture Series. And the first lecture was a vision for education. Tomorrow I will be talking on the subject, a vision for the nation. Obviously there is a continuity between the two. I would like all of you to come, not because I am speaking, but because it is important for us to develop intellectual interests, intellectual tastes. I've always felt a bit uneasy about the fact that a Nobel laureate giving a highly stimulating intellectual talk will not attract 10% of the audience that a comedian will attract. It's a reflection on our taste. This has to change. We have to cultivate a keen interest in matters intellectual, because that is what lasts with us. Humor is important. I don't deny the relevance of humor. I'm someone extremely fond of humor. But it's a fleeting kind of enhancement. Intellectual enhancement will stay with us a lifetime. So we have to reorganize our priorities and deliberately cultivate an abiding interest in matters intellectual. Suppose you go and attend an interview. You will not get any credit for cracking a joke there. You will not get the opportunity to crack a joke. And if out of turn you crack a joke, you are finished. They will show you the door. When a member of the board asks you a question about, shall we say, the economic condition of India, you say, wait a minute, I know a joke, let me crack it. You can't do that. So what will help you then is what you would have perhaps recollected from a lecture by, say, one of your teachers or somebody, an expert that we have invited, somebody like Arvind Subramaniam or Vimal Jalan or whoever you have. This is something that young people tend to forget. And another thing I want to share with you for your own good is, you never know when a particular insight becomes extremely useful to you. Maybe 20 years from now, you will find yourself in a situation where an idea that you have picked up from the assembly, for example, will be more important than most other things. Or an idea that you have picked up from a lecture by so-and-so outside the scope of the syllabus that you study will be very crucial for you. You do not know what kind of situations await you in the future. So you must take interest in everything that is offered to you and develop a capacious mind, a mind that is capable of absorbing all kinds of disciplines and is able to synthesize the inputs and create something new of its own. That's a mark of a good student. The present tendency to limit oneself only to matters directly relevant to the examinations pertaining to the course one has chosen is to be greatly lamented, because that's not education. That's a very defeat of education. T.S. Eliot says the mark of the educated mind, a cultured mind, is that it is like a crucible into which all kinds of inputs are free to enter and then enter into an interaction out of which new ideas emerge. So if you confine yourself to just one stream of thought, one small discipline, and shut your minds against other sources of intellectual stimulation, you are also shutting the door against any possible originality that you may become capable of. I believe that every human being is capable of originality, provided this discipline is maintained. And it is because of this that in St. Stephen's College we have a large number of societies, so that you are provided the opportunities to open the windows of your mind to absorb a wide assortment of intellectual and academic inputs. And that's called true education. That's our idea of education. So please take interest in whatever extra is offered to you. Apart from everything else, I want to emphasize this, and with that I'll close this bit of what I was trying to say, and that is, you must attach great importance and priority to being together. The great sadness I have about our college at the moment is that we are a highly fragmented institution. In one sense, our wealth is our poverty. We have 40 clubs and societies, which is our wealth. Why is that our poverty? Because members of a particular society or club or cell will largely confine themselves to the activities and confines of that particular society or cell. As a result, the entire college community never comes together. There was a time when the winter festival, for example, would be attended by every member of the college. But now, out of 1,200, maybe 200 will turn up. A lecture organized under the auspices of, say, Economic Society or English Literary Society or Physics Society or whatever. Now, that will be attended by 40 people, 50 people. Whereas the hall should be full. Now, that is because we don't understand the value of sitting together, being together. An institution cannot be like stones pelted in different directions. The beauty of an institution is its inner cohesion, its coherence, human, academic, intellectual, cultural. And that cohesion is today seriously undermined by divisive loyalties to various clubs and societies. And it's also for this reason that I started this public lecture series in the hope that at least initiatives like this will enable you to think beyond the narrow confines of your small little comfort zone, that you will come together and experience the joy and the beauty of belonging together. A sense of belonging can be deepened and consolidated only by sharing space and time. You need to sit together, you must learn to listen together and learn together. It is so beautiful and it is so profitable. So I commend this to you, my friends. Do not take these things lightly, because time will soon run out on you. And then you will look back on your time in college and actually feel remorseful, which doesn't help. So now, let me resume our thinking. This is the 8th session, hopefully the last session, on our effort to understand what true religion is. This is what we have been trying to do. Today my thesis is that true religion has its absolute focus on life. A very simple word which all of us can remember, a child can remember. Let's be children for a while and latch on to this word, life. Religion, not all kinds of religion, true religion, as against communal religion, which is about death. True religion is about life. Not just life, but life in all its beauty, in all its glory, in all its grandeur, and all its fullness, completeness. This is why I often say that life is a festival. Life is a great celebration, as against mere existence, which becomes a burden. And as young people, you must try and understand what it is that degrades the festival of life into a burden of mere existence. Now, to get our thinking started, let me say this, that one of the important features of life is the ability to respond. Agreed? The difference between a living person and a dead body, which makes it very obvious, is that the living person can respond. A dead body, on the other hand, is incapable of any response whatsoever. You go near a dead body, don't do this, but I'm saying, and abuse the dead body. The dead body will not file a complaint with the Sexual Harassment Committee. The dead body is very stoic, it will take anything. But a living person will respond. Now, in the story that you have been hearing, and you've now heard it 8 times, the heart of the story is about responding. There is a man lying wounded and he's bleeding and he will die unless somebody responds to his need. There comes along a priest and after that a Levite. Both of them do not respond. Fortunately for this man, this victim, there comes another person, a Samaritan. He responds. Now the question to ask is, why is it that the priest and the Levite do not respond, whereas the Samaritan responds? The answer is very simple. For the priest and the Levite, all that matters is God, or what they think is God. For the Samaritan, what matters is life. The priest and the Levite do not understand that God cannot be honored except through a commitment to life. Why? Because God is the giver of life, God is the creator of life, and life is God's portfolio, and you cannot honor God by belittling what He has created. Just as you cannot honor St. Stephen's College by belittling the opportunities you have here for studies, you really cannot honor God, pray to God by neglecting life. Therefore, there's at least 2 major applications which I want you to remember, all of them very simple. If you have anything to do with true religion, irrespective of which religion you practice, it may be Hinduism, it may be Islam, it may be Christianity, Sikhism, Jainism, atheism, whatever, communism, and in Kerala, Paisam. Now this is just to find out how many of you are Keralites. Okay. And all of you are smiling. I think Keralites have smiled because they understood what I was saying. Others are smiling because Keralites are smiling. Now, the chaplain and the dean is laughing because everybody is smiling. It's a wonderful thing. By the way, I lost connection with what I was saying. What did I say? So, the heart of the matter is life. And if you understand this, 2 consequences follow. 1, you have to cherish your own life. You have to value your life. You have to honor your own life as the ultimate thing in the world. And that's not arrogance, that is humility. True humility is honoring, valuing, cherishing, taking good care of the most precious thing God has given to you, which is life. Now, question arises, how do you care, how do you cherish, how do you honor your own life? Some simple things. Do not violate your life. Do not corrupt, vitiate, poison your personality. Do not cheapen yourself. Do not sell yourself cheap. Do not allow anyone to enslave you, lead you by the nose like donkeys are. Do not surrender your reason at somebody else's keeping, or turn you into a dumping ground of his or her prejudices and projects. Value yourself. Believe in the supreme worth that you have. But this is not enough. You also have the responsibility, if you value and cherish your own life, to develop all your talents and potentials to the utmost. Continuous, unrelenting pursuit of personal growth is the authentic proof that you value yourself. That is the proof that you are practicing true religion. Whether you go to church, mosque, temple is immaterial. It is of no use if you don't do this. Worship is nothing but a preparation and an empowerment to enable you to take the best care of yourself. Most people think that worship is a means for keeping God humored. I mean, it's an insult to God. I saw God enjoys flattery. I can't believe it. God is interested only in one thing, and that's you, your life. Take good care of it. Education is one of the many aspects and opportunities available to you to take care of yourself, and participate in education with that idea, that understanding, that sense of purpose. So this is the first part. The second part is, if you value your own life, you must value the life of everyone else. Jesus of Nazareth said, and this is found in all other religions also, do unto others what you would that they should do to you. You do not want your life to be taken. You do not want somebody to stick a knife into you. You do not want somebody to abuse you. You do not want somebody to hurt your sentiments and feelings and belittle you in public. Don't do that to anybody else. You want to be helped in times of distress? Do that to somebody else. And that is what the priest and the Levite did not know. Whether you are this nameless man, whether you are a priest, whether you are a Levite, whether you are a Samaritan, all of us have to travel on the same road. Today this nameless man is injured, attacked, he is bleeding. Your turn will come tomorrow. At that time, there should be somebody to bind your wounds and to take you to a place of help. Because time is short, let me close with an actual event. In 1914, the first successful expedition to the South Pole took place, under the leadership of a British captain called Captain Scott. It was a 5-member team. They successfully reached the South Pole, raised the British flag, and they began their return journey. Along the way, one of the members of the team, Petty Officer Evans, was taken ill. You can imagine the harsh conditions. The cold blizzard is blowing. There is snow, an ocean of snow everywhere. Biting cold, insufficient oxygen. Human endurance is very limited. The extent to which you can exert yourself is very limited without imperiling your own life. So Captain Scott faced a very difficult choice. The choice is either to abandon the ailing petty officer Evans to his lonely, cold death in the blizzard, or to carry him and risk the survival of the rest of the team. Captain Scott decided that the team member Evans will not be left to die alone. They carried him. And history does not tell us the details of what happened thereafter. All that we know from history is that a few months later, 5 dead bodies were discovered. Barely a few kilometers from the base camp. This is one of the events in history which has haunted me for years and years. And I have spent days and days trying to understand the mindset of Captain Scott. And I think I understand something of it. Captain Scott would have realized that Petty Officer Evans is not just Evans, it is part of humanity. So if a man in crisis is abandoned for your own survival, that's called saving one's own skin, your turn will come. At that time you will look in vain to see a hand of help. You will not find it. Therefore, my friends, to care for life is to also create a caring culture. Maybe more of it tomorrow. Let's pray.